Thank you for joining us for this amazing webinar. Today, I am joined by Sirka Cherokee and Sean Hall, my fearless apprentices. Thank you, Sirka and Sean, for being here.
Thank you, Lama, for having us. Oh.
Yeah, and thank you, all the wonderful people who are joining us. You are going to be experiencing something amazing today. We are going to look at some of the practices and principles of empowerment that we went through over the last 5 days during our 5-day challenge dedicated to empowerment and discovering how to build a greater clarity of conscious, clarity of purpose and self-confidence, so that you would be able to manifest your dreams and live your life that you truly deserve in this year and beyond. Of course, we don't want to just stop once this year is over. We want to continue improving the quality of our lives. So we went through a pretty incredible process during which we discovered our priorities, values, and sorted them out. Once we have achieved that, we also can work on identifying which of the values are most important so that we can dive deeper into it. Before we take the deep dive, let me pass the baton, the walking stick, to Sean. Please, Sean, introduce us to the idea of what we're going to explore today and who it is for.
Well, this year is definitely, thank you very much, Lama. And this year is definitely, it's been a lot, you know, or the past 2 years have been a lot. This year, hopefully this is going to be your year. But for anybody that's really felt the results of the pandemic and has felt the confusion and the unknown and the insecurities that come with not knowing where we are currently. You might have financial insecurity. You might have insecurity of what the next step should be for you because things are changing so rapidly for everyone. It's a new age and it requires a new way of approach. So if the last 2 years have really swept the rug out from underneath you, it's when just getting on your feet, it helps to have somebody there by your side to help give you direction, to help give you guidance. And most importantly, really tuning into your own inner guidance, your own inner navigational skills. And we would really like to help you with gaining greater clarity on what those tools are and how you're going to utilize these tools along your path, right? The values was such a huge one because values is going to be, and that's what we're going to talk about today through the practice that Lama will lead us through. Values are your stepping stones. Once you take that first step, do you know if this is the step in the right direction? How are you supposed to know? Well, if your footing is very sure and you're like the mountain goat when you're taking your steps and it feels good, great. Then that's a step you've made with confidence. That's one of the tools we'll provide, as well as just what it is to be in your body as you walk along this path. I mean, how are you supposed to feel like you're going to be secure enough and safe enough as you walk along this path if you don't feel safe enough in your own vessel, right? That's taking you along your path. And then finally, once we get near towards the end, we're going to help give you more and more clarity on where it is you're going. Because we can all say, all right, I'm ready to go. But then if we're not quite sure on where we're going, then how are we supposed to want to even take the next step? So all the values and everything like that, those are your building blocks. And once you're clear on those, the process, a lot of people get lost in the process, but the process is really made possible by your values. You don't need to get lost in, well, how do I get from here to there? We're going to help close the gap by just knowing and getting clear on what your values are. And that's something that I'm passionate about. I know that Lama is extremely passionate about, and Sirka is so passionate about. We're going to help you develop your authenticity. Sirka is really good at helping with authenticity as well and expressing your true voice. You're in a powerhouse of extreme talent, and with coaches that are just really dedicated to helping you find your purpose. So I'm really excited to be here, and I can't wait to go through this with you guys.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for an excellent introduction, Sean. What we are going to explore today is something that is going to require a piece of paper, or maybe several pieces of paper, and a pen or a pencil. So please take a moment to equip yourself with this simple equipment. And while we're doing that, let me just check with our participants. Can you hear all of us well? Please put in the comments.
Yeah, feel free to introduce yourself. We would love to hear from you, especially if you've joined us on the challenge.
Yes, if you joined us on the challenge, great. Please let us know that you participated in this challenge. If you did not participate in the challenge, let us know that you did not participate, and that is okay. That's something that obviously is something we will go over once again today. It's not going to be just a rehash of the last 5 days. We're actually going to dive a little bit deeper, and we'll also make an amazing offer to you that you will not be able to refuse, because it will blow your socks off. Now, before we go into that, let me just say one thing, that one of the most important things that I personally observed is that the quality that separates people who are successful, who are resilient, who are self-empowered, from those people who don't experience much resilience, or they're not as successful as they wish to be, or they're not particularly empowered. What separates them are two things: clarity of purpose and rock solid confidence, or the level of confidence. In other words, if there is no clarity of purpose, you don't know where you're going and why. Just like Sean mentioned a minute ago, if you're ready to go somewhere, but you don't know where you're going, well, you may not end up where you want to be. And on the other hand, if you don't have the confidence, you just will procrastinate forever, or you will have perfectionism that will stop you from progressing anywhere. Or you may find yourself just constantly hesitating and not being able to make any decisions, having internal sabotage going on. With that kind of energy discrepancies or sabotage from within, no wonder it's hard to achieve any success, or just simply live a high quality life. So we're going to explore the quality of life that you currently experience, so that we know what we're working with, and also for you to have a nice visual interface. So let's grab a piece of paper and a pen. And on this piece of paper, let's draw a big circle, covering pretty much the entire piece of paper, or as much of it as is feasible. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It can be an egg shape or an oval. But generally speaking, what we're trying to achieve is a relatively round shape that we're going to divide in 12 slices. You can imagine that this is like a clock dial, and you can put the numbers on it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 12. And what we're going to do next is we're going to make a dot at the center of the dial, or the center of the circle, and we will connect those numbers to the center one by one, so that you end up with 12 slices, kind of like cutting the pie of pizza or any type of pie into 12 slices. And we're going to give each of these slices a name. We're going to go from top, so let's say from 1 o'clock all the way clockwise back to 12. And we'll give the first slice the name physical health. It's an important area of life that all of us probably want to enjoy. It's really hard to live quality of life without physical health, right? The next one is mental well-being. So you can literally write those names on top of that slice or next to the numbers associated with that slice. The third slice we'll call hobbies and fun. In other words, an area of life that is really important to some of us. Some of us may not have a lot of hobbies or would like to have more fun, but don't really know how to do it. So we're going to explore this. The next one is going to be physical activities and sports. It can include hiking, it can include qigong, yoga, it can include any type of sports, except for watching sports on TV. Participatory sports, that's what we're talking about, where you actually move your body. And the one after that is going to be called family. Whether it's your family as parents, extended family, maybe you have a spouse or a partner, maybe you have kids. Basically, whatever family means to you, that's going to be your area of life called family. And the one after that, intimate relationships. Now, intimate relationships sometimes are identical with family. Sometimes, for some people, it's completely different. So we're going to separate family and intimate relationships into two distinct categories, but you may find that they go hand in hand. And if that's the case for you, great. One after that is going to be social life. Your friendships, your community involvement, any type of social activities that you participate in. And the one after that is social contributions. Not to confuse with social activities. Contributions is something that you do not just to socialize with friends, but something that you dedicate your time and energy to improve the quality of other people's lives. Maybe you volunteer, maybe you support important causes, maybe you are creating a legacy. And the one after that has probably something to do with social contributions for some people, or may not have anything to do with that, and that's called career. For me, for example, career and social contributions go hand in hand, but it's not the case for everyone. The one after that is called finances or money. Obviously, if you're a career person, that's where you get the money from, most likely. For some people, money doesn't come from career, or maybe they don't even have career. Maybe they're retired, or maybe they are a trust fund baby. Okay, well, that's fine. We can work with finances separately from career. And the next area of life, we're going to give the name of personal development. A crucial aspect for most of us. And the one after that, spiritual development, or simply spirituality. If it's the same as religion for you, I'm not going to argue. Personally, I find myself to be spiritual, but not religious. Kind of an interesting state to be in for a Tibetan Lama, right? But that's definitely how I identify myself. I'm not a religious person, but I'm definitely spiritual. Believe it or not, one of my mentors, the Dalai Lama, actually says the same thing about himself. So we've given the names to 12 areas of life. Some people may feel like, oh my God, I don't have even this many. And some may feel like, wow, I actually have some other areas that I have that other people perhaps don't have. Well, these are 12 most generic and at the same time very important areas of life. So let's focus on these today. What we're going to do next is we're going to assess our level of satisfaction with each and every one of these areas of life. If you've gone through our 5-day challenge, you already know where we're going with this. But if you haven't, or perhaps you missed one a day or two, this is going to be a great opportunity for you to do an assessment. Thank you, Sirka, for sharing. You may want to turn your mic on so that Zoom will automatically switch to you.
Yes. So hello, everybody. This is how it could look. I'm not an artist, but this is the wheel of life with the 12 slices. So yeah, just so for the visual learners out there.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. This is a great example of how you can make a beautiful wheel of life on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be even that beautiful, but it's important that you understand your own handwriting. And what we're going to use next are those spokes of the wheel, separating one segment from the next. And we are going to use them as a scale from 0 to 100, with 0 being right at the center of the wheel and 100 being on the outer edge of the wheel. On scale from 1 to 100, how much satisfaction do you currently experience with your physical health? And by currently, I mean not necessarily at this particular moment, but today, this week, maybe this month, kind of an overall sense of satisfaction with your physical health on scale from 1 to 100, or from 0 to 100. Obviously 0 is being diseased, so probably you don't want to put your level of satisfaction at 0. 100, I've never met anyone who would be 100% healthy, so let's be realistic about it. What I invite you to do next is simply to put a notch or a check mark or a cross at that on that scale, on the spoke of the wheel that you can use as a scale, leading to 1. So basically, we're going to mark how much satisfied you are with your physical health. Moving on to mental well-being. How satisfied are you with this area of your life? On scale from 1 to 100. Very few people are 0 satisfied, and virtually nobody is 100% satisfied with the mental well-being. So again, realistically speaking, let's put a notch on the spoke of the wheel, going to number 2 on a clock dial. And going clockwise, moving on to the number 3, entertainment or hobbies. How satisfied are you with that area of your life? How much fun do you currently have? How much would you like to have? In other words, what's the room for improvement? Let's put a notch on the 3rd spoke of the wheel, indicating how satisfied you are with this area of your life. Moving on to physical activities and sports. How satisfied are you with that involvement? Perhaps without being able to go to the gym for the last 2 years, you have not been as satisfied with your physical activities. Various classes have been canceled. A lot of other events have been canceled or postponed. So I don't want to imagine that you are at 100%, but hopefully not at 0. Let's mark on the 4th spoke of the wheel how satisfied you are with your involvement in physical activities and sports. And then move on to the 5th spoke of the wheel, or 5th aspect of life associated with family. What's your level of satisfaction with this area of your life? I'm talking about family, not intimate relationships, because that's going to be the next step. Whether you see your family enough, or you're sick and tired of them because you see them too much, or something in between, or you don't have family. Well, how satisfied are you with that? Basically, that's the same process that we took with the previous areas. Well, let's take with this area of life. How satisfied are you with your family life? Let's put the mark or notch on the spoke number 5. And let's move on to spoke number 6. Let's put a mark on it, indicating how well you're satisfied with your intimate relationships. Whether you're married or you're not married, you have a partner or you don't have a partner, your level of satisfaction will reflect that. And once you put the notch on that spoke of the wheel, let's move on to the next one, which is social life. Your friendships, perhaps your involvement in your neighborhood, perhaps you participate in some nonprofit organizations or whatever you do for socializing. If you are seriously involved as a volunteer or even running a nonprofit organization, obviously that would be perhaps more on a social contribution side. So we're going to look into the next. So once you mark your level of satisfaction with your social life, let's take a look at social contributions. What do you do to make this world a better place? What is it that you do that would contribute not only to you, to yourself, to perhaps your family, but also perhaps to generations coming after you? How about environment? What do you do to make this world more livable, not only for humans, but all living beings? So let's mark your level of satisfaction with that area of your life. And let's move on to the next one, career. How satisfied are you with your career? If you have one, if you don't have one, are you looking for a career? Let's mark your level of satisfaction either way. Perhaps you are exploring the second career or even third career. Well, that's perfectly acceptable. Once you mark your level of satisfaction with career, let's take a look at finances. What's your level of satisfaction with this area of your life? Do you feel like you have abundance? Or do you feel like you're broke or something in between? Let's mark a notch or put an X on the spoke of the wheel, indicating where you are in terms of satisfaction with your finances. Let's take a look at the aspect of life called personal development. How satisfied are you with your level of personal development right now? Is there much room for improvement? Have you been making some progress? Perhaps that will indicate greater satisfaction. Or perhaps you feel like you're backsliding. Well, let's mark how satisfied you are with your personal development on the spoke number 11. And finally, the last but not the least, spirituality, whatever that means to you. I'm not here to preach anything. I'm not here to promote anything. I'm just inviting you to connect with your sense of satisfaction with your spiritual truth, with your inner nature, with the powers that be. How satisfied are you with that aspect of your life? So we've gone over 12 areas of life and identified our levels of satisfaction with all 12 of them. Congratulations, you have made one of the most important, although still an initial first step. Let's take the next step. The next step is going to be exploring your values associated with each and every one of these areas of life. Let me ask my apprentices, Sean, Sirka, which one of you would like to lead our participants through the exploration of values and writing down perhaps 5 or 6 values associated with each of the areas?
Sean, me, you?
Sure, of course. Okay, so we have our areas of the pie chart, and now we're working with what's important to you within each of these areas. So when you think of your health, for instance, what about health do you value? What happens when you do take care of your health? What happens when you don't take care of your health? So getting in that mindset, what happens with your health. So I'll just lead by example, and I'll continually walk down the line. So with me, balance is very important. Harmony is very important. Those are very similar, right? So we can already see that when we do take care of our health, there's certain themes that kind of pop up. So going with that theme, write down 3 to 6. So we'll move on to mental wellness. So with mental wellness, what do you value about your mental wellness? What's really important to you? Is it focus, clarity, calm? I mean, I'm not putting ideas in your head. I'll just tell you again, mine: peace, calm, clarity, focus. Those are ones that came up for me. When I have mental wellness, I feel those things, and I really highly value them. And again, you don't have to narrow it down quite yet. We're gonna boil it down. But moving on to hobbies and fun. So with your hobbies and fun, what do you enjoy when you think about hobbies and fun, right? And then when you enjoy something, what is it you enjoy about hobbies and fun, right? So what is that doing for you? So when I think of the first thing, the hobby that comes to mind is music. I've got a passion for music. It's not my career. Maybe one day it will be, but right now it is a passion, and I love my music. But what is it about music that I really like? Well, I write my own music. I don't learn other people's songs very often, so I use less time working on learning other people's songs and really develop my own, which creativity is a huge one. So I love the creative process of writing music. So that's one of my highest priority values. And then let's move on to movement and sports. So what in movement and sports, what does that do for you? What are some of your favorite sports? Or again, not the ones just that you are able to flip the clicker with. This is a valued skill right here, just to be able to move that thumb. But there's got to be something a little bit deeper that moves you about hobbies and sports, physically maybe moving you. So what is it? Is it golf? Do you enjoy frisbee golf? Do you enjoy movement? Maybe perhaps it's martial arts or qigong or tai chi or yoga. But what does that really do for you? So when I think of my movement, they drive me. It gives me this internal drive. It really gives me courage as well to really step in with my body. And I also love how many different ways there are to move. So diversity is a huge value. And then let's move on to family. So family, I put cuddling. There's just something I love about family. I can get close to them and cuddle with them. It's also this sense of belonging for me. And there's this sense of compassion that I have and I share with my family. So those are a few that come up for me. When you think of family, what are your values? Intimate relationships. Love. It's just the number one thing that came up for me is I love my wife, who's here on the call right now. And trust and openness. There's this level of trust that I gain. It's not just about the person, right? When I think of intimate relationships, of course, like my wife is the number one thing that comes up. But what does my wife do for me? Well, she gives me love, trust, compassion, and there's this openness that we share, which is something that I highly value. Again, we're doing 3 to 6, so you can brainstorm 3 to 6. Social life. What about your social life do you truly value? I value the generosity that my friends give me. I'm just thinking like of today of something that my friends are super generous and they're there for me. And there's this companionship that really I value very much about my friends and my friends here on the call as well. I value all of you. So thank you for showing up and being generous with your time. Social contributions. So the environment is one thing that comes up for me, and also collaboration. So being able to collaborate with others in maybe in a music gathering, or perhaps it's being able to collaborate with others in regards to helping the environment, picking up trash on the highway, or running a soup kitchen for the homeless. Those are sometimes also things that you highly value. What about career? Do you find that you have what do you get back with your career? Service is one thing that came up for me, and a few other things is passion, my ability to share my knowledge and my time with others. So a career is something that really supports me. So stability. And then moving on to finances. So what in finances do you value? So a lot of people might value their security, right? It makes them feel safe. Does it make you feel safe to have more finances? Right now, what do you value about your finances? Maybe you're not making tons of money, but you do feel like you have some level of freedom. So maybe freedom could be one of your values in finances. And then personal development. So what in personal development really drives you? I thought of another one that really helped me today, which was vision. So, and this is an important one. What we're talking about right now is our vision, right? And we'll be getting to vision, but so important to me to have an ultimate outcome. I want to work towards that ultimate outcome for me. So personal development is something that I truly value. Spirituality. Finally, at spirituality. So what does spirituality do for you? Self-awareness, nature came up for me. Intuition, when I really check in with my own inner guides, that's a sense of intuition that I have. So it's something that I can constantly use. And I feel that that is connected with something that is very personal to me, which is I feel that's what spirituality really does for me, is it gives me a sense of connection to something deeper and something that I don't quite understand, but it's my intuition. It's something that I connect with. So again, what do you value about spirituality? And take it away. So we've worked through all of our values. Hope you guys enjoyed this exercise. This is a really great exercise, and we're going to boil it down even deeper and further next.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sean.
Can I add just one thing?
Yes, please.
So I just wanted to really emphasize, Sean said this several times, what would that do for you? And it's actually because it's the most important question you probably will ask yourself in this whole process. Because when you, for example, look at social life, for me, immediately my friends' names pop in my head. So I want to write down Jessica and Ray, but they're not exactly values. So I have to dive deeper into figuring out spending time with Jessica, what does that do for me? Oh, well, there's a huge amount of we laugh a lot and we can share everything. Also fun, and we can share everything, trust, there's an understanding. So like really narrow your values down to the core value. If that makes sense. Yeah.
That makes beautiful sense. Thank you. And I wonder if you would care to walk us through the next step in our process of exploration, Circa.
Yes, I say yes, and I'm muted. Yes. So how many of you have like 3 to 6 values in each category right now? Or like 2? No, we still need, okay. Need a little more time? Jane? Yeah? I will
Looks like we have a thumbs up from Connie. Looks like
okay.
Carol's good. You feel free to use that little button at the very bottom, you guys, in case you don't want to raise your hand, or share your screen. We would love to see you. We'd love to see your beautiful faces, especially those of you who have been on this journey with us and we haven't been able to like formally meet you. We'd love to see your face.
So I just want to ask, and you can just give me like a thumbs up for yes or a thumbs down for no. Do you guys that you guys that don't have 3 to 6 values yet, do you need help? Yes or no? No, you good? Okay, good. So I will give you just a little time while I talk about the next step. So take your time. You know, this is not a process you want to rush. So I invite you to just take your as long as you need. What we're going to do now is going through each area of your life where you have your values listed, the values you've boiled down. And if you only have two, it's okay. You know, it's okay for now. Maybe you only have one, and maybe you just can't figure out other values. Well, then maybe there is your number one priority value in that category of your life. So what we're going to do now is finding one value in each area of your life that you simply can't live without in that specific area of your life. So if you look at, for example, health, what did you write down in health? Maybe for me, I have written down strength, high energy, balance, adventure, flexibility, balance again, and happiness. Well, it's funny because my subconscious apparently wrote down balance twice. So I'm going to check in with each of these values and see which one is actually my number one value in this category. But I already think I know the answer since one of them got in there twice. But I look at strength, and I kind of look at it and I feel my body. How does my body feel when I think about being strong? Okay, that feels this way. How is my breath? Is my breath deep? Is my breath connected? Or is it more shallow? And just tune in with it. And then if I move on to balance, what happens in my body? Oh, and I can actually immediately feel that I have a sigh of relief, a deep sigh of relief. And this, my friends, means that your body is saying, yes, this is the one, you know? And you can test this on yourself, because if you feel you have a sigh of relief or a deeper breath, this is simply your central nervous system relaxing and resonating with the word, with the value you're reading out loud to yourself. So balance, it's funny, every time I say it, I get sigh of relief. So then I can move on to my next one, adventure. Okay, that feels good, but it didn't give me the same sigh of relief as balance. Move on to flexibility. Oh, that's a sigh of relief too. I still feel it more in balance. So I'm going to circle that that value, balance. I'm going to circle that. And then I have a circle around my number one value in health. Then you can look at mental well-being. Well, what kind of values do you have there? Just look at them one by one. And as you practice gauging what you resonate with the most with your breath, it becomes so much faster. It's almost like I can look down on my all my values on my mental well-being, and I can just pick it out. Oh, there you go. Because my breath is already telling me, this is the one. Does this make sense to you? Are you all with me out there? If you are, raise your hands or thumbs up. Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. So this makes sense. Yes, I'm so happy to hear that. And you guys that don't have your camera on, yeah, Connie is clapping. That I hope that means yes, that makes sense. If there's any questions, feel free to bring them into the chat, and we'll address them. Awesome. So this is the work to do. So take your time and go through all of your areas of your life and find that number one value in each life area. Fun hobbies. What do you prioritize there? What about physical activities? What about family? And what is it that you really need in your relationships? What is the most important thing to you in relationships? In social life? Maybe this is where you had some friends come up and you have to ask yourself, what does it give me? What does it do for me to spend time with them? What does it do for me to talk with them? What does it do for me to be in the presence of these people? And then find that number one value. And then go to community. Yeah, tune in with that and use your breath to find your number one value in that life area. And then we have career. Where are you there? What's the most important value for you? Finances. Some people I've worked with says rich, wealthy. And I ask them, okay, that's values, that wealthy, and then I ask, so what would that do for you? And there's usually something underneath that. So really get to the core of what you prioritize here. Sorry, that was finances. Finances I was talking about. And then personal development and spiritual development. Yeah, so go through the list and check in with your breath. What's the most important value in each section for you? Yeah. Cool. And once you guys are ready with that, we'll move on to the next part. So if you are almost ready, or let us know you can even just give a thumbs up if you're already done. Perfect. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jane. Monica Vans, Connie is done. I know Monica has done this in the 5-day challenge. And you guys that don't have your camera on, it's okay to just send a thumbs up. You can do awesome. Thank you, Monica, our Rockstar 5-day challenge participant. You can go into reactions and just send a thumbs up. Awesome. Done, Maria. Good. Thank you, Maria. All right. I think we're going to move on slowly. Lama, take it away.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sirka, for walking us through this process. Sometimes it can be confusing to sort out through the values if you've never done it before. It's something that most people never do in their entire lives. If you think about it, most people kind of assume that the values that they have, well, that's how they are. It's like, I was born with these values, but it's never true. Nobody's born with values. We get indoctrinated. We get certain education, certain social indoctrination, or religious, or some other influences from influencers in our lives, family members, parents, who name it. And what happens is that most of the values that we end up with are not even our own authentic values. These are the values that we were told by other people we should hold on to, or we should aspire to, or we should cherish and value. And so instead of relying on somebody else's sense of what is important to us, what our values are supposed to be, we actually want to learn what our own authentic values are. How are we going to do that? Well, for that purpose, I usually suggest to have a pair of scissors handy. But if you don't have a pair of scissors, no problem. We're just going to take another piece of paper, preferably clean sheet of paper, and divide it into 12 pieces. Literally, you can just fold it, tear it, fold it again, tear it again. Divide it into 12 pieces of small pieces of paper, like cards. And we are going to write the most important values associated with each of the 12 areas of your life on one value per card. What's going to happen is you're going to end up with 12 cards. It's almost like you can play a card game with them. You can even hold them in your hand. Now, if there's the same value that is associated with more than one area of your life, that's usually a really high priority value. So that would be something to keep in mind. Why? Because we're going to reprioritize the values now. Something that requires a degree of creativity and authenticity. You literally have to let go of some of the indoctrination that you've been exposed to since childhood. You may have to rethink what is important to you. How are we going to do this? Well, imagine that your house is on fire. You know, there's this exercise. Imagine your house is on fire. What are the several things, like 3 things or 5 things that you would save if nothing else could be saved? Like, what are the most important things that you would save from a burning house? Or make it a little bit less drastic. Imagine you're playing a game of cards and you've been given a hand. The hand that you've been served has 12 cards. Out of these 12, you can only keep 6. And you have to discard the other 6. How are you going to choose which ones to hold on to and which ones to discard? That's exactly where the breathing awareness comes in handy that Sirka just shared about. If you have a sigh of relief when focusing on a particular value, or you start yawning holding on to a particular card, that's a pretty clear indication that the central nervous system recognizes sense of resonance. That's right, everything's energy. Once you identify a sense of resonance with something or someone, your body naturally relaxes because the central nervous system is not very agitated. It doesn't send so many signals of contraction to the muscles throughout the body, which includes the diaphragm, your breathing muscle. So what's going to happen? A sigh of relief or a yawn, or you may, at the very least, notice how your breathing becomes deeper and smoother. Now, we're working with our high priority values, so you should be already breathing pretty deep and relaxed. We are going to focus on those values that actually elicit the most noticeable response, a relaxation response from your body. See, we're using the body as the tool. We're not doing the breathing techniques. We're not trying to breathe right. We're actually just paying attention to how the body responds to certain stimuli. And then you decide accordingly whether to hold on to this card or to discard it and let go. But we're not going to stop at 6. We're going to do another round of discarding of this half of the cards. So imagine you can only hold on to 3 of your cards. That's right. You just figured out the 6 most important ones. Guess what? 3 of them got to be more important than the other 3. So let's see again. If your house is on fire and you can only save 3 items out of it, or your house of cards is on fire, as in this case, what are the 3 cards you can save? So it's going to take a little bit of time. Take a moment. Connect with your truth. Ask your higher self. Consult with a crystal ball. Whatever works best for you. I'm sure that you will be able to determine relatively well which ones of the top 3 priorities, top 3 values you're going to keep. We're not going to get rid of the values that we are putting down. No, we're not discarding them and just completely throwing away. That would be like tossing the baby with the bathwater. We are going to use them, but we recognize that they are of slightly lesser priority. They still belong to your list of values. It's just simply they're not as high on this list. The 3 that are really high on this list, well, we're going to figure out which one is actually going to be let go of next. Out of the 3 values, I know that you really cherish them because they are so important, you are holding on to them. But now we're actually going to let go of one of them. This is going to be the number 3 highest priority value. So don't consider that this is not important. It's extremely important. It's number 3 priority. Now, with the two cards in the hand, which one is number one and which one is number two? Priorities. Again, if you had this card, the house of cards on fire, so to speak, and you had to only save one, which one would you not be able to live without? That is number one priority. That's the value number one. The reason why we don't write this first, instead we're playing with these cards, is so that we can move them around. We can reevaluate them. And guess what? Sometimes you may find yourself going through this process again, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, man, I put that value down almost like it wasn't really important to me, but I realized, no, actually it belongs to the top of my list of priorities. And so you get up and walk to your desk or wherever your cards are and reorganize them. I personally went through this. It's like a spiritual ordeal, if you will. You know, like in Zen Buddhism, Zen teachers, Zen masters sometimes give their students a koan, this impossible to answer, at least impossible to answer very quickly, question that requires deep contemplation, connecting with your inner truths, and sometimes seeking the assistance from the powers that be. Well, that's exactly what I invite you to continue doing. This exercise is not going to stop tonight. It's going to continue through probably a number of days, a number of weeks, maybe even the rest of the year for you. But we're not done yet. We have one more very interesting step to take. That step has everything to do with that wheel of life, that pie chart that you created just a few minutes ago in the beginning of our webinar. So let's get back to it and let's play these cards. You can organize them according to their level of priorities, but now keeping those in mind, especially keeping in mind the ones that are really high on the top of your priority list. Imagine for a moment, or give yourself a time to imagine and visualize what you would like to be able to tell me if I get together with you at the end of this year. And I ask you, so how did this year go for you? What did you manifest? Did you manifest the life that you really desire, that you really deserve? What would you like to be able to tell me? Let's take a moment to visualize or to envision what that would be like to actually manifest the destiny that you deserve. You can close your eyes. Take a moment to contemplate, to daydream. This is a daydreaming practice that often we forget how to do consciously. Since childhood, probably many of us, if not all of us, have been told by the parents, teachers, and other adults to stop daydreaming because we need to focus on what we've been taught or told. But this is an opportunity to actually allow yourself to daydream. And you're actually doing it lucidly, just like in a lucid dream at night where you may realize that you're dreaming while continuing to dream. You may also allow yourself to daydream, but do it consciously. So instead of daydreaming like most people tend to do unconsciously. And you know, when people daydream unconsciously, like what do they think about, for example, about the future? Often they think about those things that they don't want to experience. Hence, all the worries and concerns that they have. We are going to be cool. We're going to be conscious. We're going to be awake in our dream. So imagine what you would like to manifest by the end of this year, realistically. But with the help of your imagination, allow yourself to really connect with that vision of what you deserve and like to manifest in your life. And now, keeping that vision in mind, let's connect with each and every area of life again. How satisfied would you be in terms of your physical health if you manifest that vision that you just came up with? On scale from 1 to 100, using that same spoke of the wheel that goes from the center of the wheel to number 1 on the clock dial. Let's put the new mark or a new notch on that spoke of the wheel, indicating the new level of satisfaction associated with that vision that you desire to manifest by the end of this year. I suspect you're going to be a little bit more satisfied with it. I hardly ever hear from anyone who would say, yeah, I would like to be a little bit less satisfied with my health or with my family or with my social life and anything else. So whatever you aspire to, give yourself permission to be creative, to be curious, and also realize that you are dreaming up your existence, your reality. It's totally up to you how much you are going to experience satisfaction. If you make this happen, will you be happy at the end of the year? Well, let's put the notch on the mental well-being spoke of the wheel, going from 0, from center of the wheel to 2 on the clock dial. How satisfied would you be with the mental well-being? Or how happy would you be? Let's move on to spoke number 3. That has to do with hobbies and fun, entertainment, and things like that. What would be your level of fun and entertainment at the end of this year if you manifest what you just visualized? And let's move on to the spoke number 4, physical activities and sports. How satisfied would you be with that area of your life if you manifest the vision that you've dreamed up? Put the notch on the spoke of the wheel. Let's take a look at family. How satisfied would you be with your family dynamics? Family life, if you will, at the end of this year, if what you just envisioned comes true. Once you put the notch on that spoke of the wheel, let's take a look at intimate relationships. What would be your level of satisfaction with this area of your life by the end of this year if you manifest what you desire and deserve to manifest? And let's take a look at the next spoke of the wheel, the next area of life, which would be social life. What would be your area of or your level of satisfaction in this area? How satisfied would you be with your friendships, with your socializing? Let's put the notch on the spoke of the wheel going to number 7. Number 8, social contributions. How satisfied would you be with your social contributions or your charitable work or supporting important causes, or perhaps environmental work? Let's put the notch on that spoke of the wheel. Let's move on to career. What would be your level of satisfaction with your career if you did your dream work, dream job? I honestly have to admit, I do my dream job. So my level of satisfaction with my career is very, very high. Many of my apprentices can say the same thing. They learn how to do this work and they're extremely satisfied with their career. It's not always the same as finances. There's perhaps more room for improvement in terms of finances, but some people actually are very satisfied with their finances. So I'm not going to speak for everyone. How satisfied would you be with your finances by the end of this year once you achieve what you set out to achieve or manifest your vision? Let's put the notch on that spoke of the wheel. Let's take a look at the personal development. How satisfied would you be with this part of your life? How developed would you be personally? Let's put the notch on that spoke of the wheel. And the last but not the least, spirituality or your spiritual development. What would be your level of satisfaction with this part of your life by the end of this year, if things turn out the way that you dream them up? Now, you may notice how there is some discrepancy between the current level of satisfaction and the level of satisfaction that you would like to experience as a result of manifesting a dream. So we've got to figure out how to manifest our dreams, right? Because otherwise, what's the likelihood of us becoming more satisfied? If there is a discrepancy, if there is a gap between the current state of affairs and our dream state, we have some awesome practices that help us bridge this gap and travel from where we are to where we need to be in a very meaningful and very effective way. And we are going to have a special event dedicated to it. We are going to have a retreat during which we're going to dive deeper into the practices of embodiment of these values that we just identified as our highest priority values. During our retreat, we'll also learn how to do energy practices that would allow us to connect with energy resources that we need to connect in order to manifest our dreams. Because if we keep using the same old energies that we kept using until today, what's the likelihood of us actually achieving something different or something new, something more successful? Probably not very high. We need to tap into some additional resources. Perhaps we need to even reorganize our sense of identity. Because if you keep being the same person that you used to be, what's the likelihood of you experiencing life differently? So this goes really deep. This goes into ontological questions of who you are and why are you this way? And are you stuck in being this way? Are you willing and able to expand yourself or to become somebody who you need to be in order to manifest and live your dreams? Now that's going to take some time, which obviously goes beyond the scope of our webinar today. And so I am delighted to invite you to the most amazing place on earth. One of the most amazing places on earth. I've been to quite a few amazing places, but this is going to blow your mind. It's on the Pacific coast of Costa Rica in Central America. Costa Rica is one of the places that is on many people's minds when they think of tropical paradise. So the name of our retreat is Empowerment in Paradise. Simple and descriptive. What we're going to experience is empowerment in the most beautiful place, a resort right on the beach. Literally, you don't have to travel to the beach, just walk down to the beach. With beautiful settings, with amazing food, and with awesome practices that we're going to engage in every day of the week. We're going to be there for 7 days. And we're going to experience the most amazing breakthroughs. You're probably already getting some idea that I have a lot up my sleeve that I still can contribute to your personal and spiritual development, right? Well, there's going to be a lot that I will contribute. Plus also, not just one, not just two, but three of my favorite apprentices are going to be with me there. Circa, Sean, and Nancy are going to be there with me. And they will be able to help you experience this firsthand. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one interactions. There's going to be a lot of physical practices. There's going to be a lot of visualizing, even sound practices. That's right. Circa is a world-class vocal coach. She's actually going to walk you through the process of discovering your true voice. Right, Circa? Can you share with us a few things about what we're going to experience there?
Yes, you know what, even better, I have pictures to share and a whole presentation on, what this retreat could look like. So let's pull that up.
Oh, awesome. That's the picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say.
Right, I know. Sean will pull up the slide and I'll do the talking.
Yes, I will pull up the
Yeah.
slides. Just a moment. And I just wanted to reiterate, this is so ideal. I mean, talking about the person who this is going to be ideal for, this is so ideal for those people who have tension, insecurity, and indecision. So this alone, the challenges that you might have might feel like a struggle, but with the right guidance, and again, the right internal guidance, that we give you the tools for this, navigating all these things, they don't have to be a struggle, or you can actually thrive. Like we've reiterated over and over again, challenges are going to come, but it's how you respond to the challenges that determine where you go and what your destination will be. So with that being said, without further ado, let's share. And let's get you guys on to Empowerment and Paradise. Does everybody see this so far?
Yeah, if you can make it all the way big, that's great. Oh.
What happened? Oh. Try one more time. There we go.
Perfect. Yes. This is a picture of the resort we're going to stay at in Costa Rica. And our retreat is called Empowerment in Paradise. And what we're focusing on is for you to gain crystal clarity and to build your rock solid confidence while in Costa Rica. And this is not always something that happens, in an instant moment. So that's why we have 7 days together, so that we can give you the tools that you can actually implement into your life immediately when you come home. Tools that you can use every day instead of just instead of talking the talk, will help you walk the walk.
Yeah, the walk that you take will be right on that beach right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just beyond the tree line there, and that's where the beach is. So this is an awesome resort. I'm really excited to go there myself.
So go ahead and do the next slide. Yes. So Empowerment in Paradise, it's going to be 7 days in Costa Rica, April 23rd till 30th, 2022. So it's like in a minute, it's like this year, because we're ready to make a change, and we want to be there for you who are also ready to make this change. The difference between the Academy of Qidao and the coaching modality that we use here and other coaching modalities is that there are so many coaches out in the world. I'm not going to mention any names or do any like trash talk here, but there are many modalities where it's a lot about talking about the issues you have and talking about how you can change your life and talking and talking and talking. Well, I don't have anything against talking. I'm a voice empowerment coach. I love talking. I love utilizing my voice. But the thing is, the voice sits in the body. And many people fail to see that. Many people think that, oh, if I just talk about it, it's going to be fine. But actually, that kind of gets you more stuck in your head. So what we do, what Lama has taught me and taught Sean in the Academy of Qidao, is how to embody everything we learn so that you can feel it in your body immediately. You can test in your body, what do you resonate with? For example, with your values, you listen to your breath. If you really listen to your breath, your body will tell you the truth. Your body will tell you exactly a yes or a no. And there are other practices in learning how to read your own body. How do you hold your body? And the way you hold your body is also an indicator on if you are in a situation you love, or you're having fun, or maybe you're scared, or maybe you're waiting for something better, or maybe you're going, no way. You can learn all these tools to recognize in your body if you're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, or if you should wait to answer. And these are all tools that Lama has taught us, and that we are here to help, coach you guys through. The first time I met Lama was at a weekend workshop. My husband, Sean Hall, brought me to this weekend workshop, the basic of Qidao. I had never done any of Lama's trainings before. I didn't actually really know much about him other than what Sean had told me. but I was very intrigued to go on this weekend with Sean, because, you know, a weekend away with my love, that sounds great. And Sean was like, you have to come, you have to come. You know, it's so amazing. I can't tell you all about it. You have to see it for yourself. And I've been a vocal coach for a long time and a singer. And when I came to Lama, after, you know, we went through the basic of Qi, which was simple embodied practices that it helped me immediately. I was in a state of feeling a little bit stuck in my body and having a body pain. And when you have body pain, you also feel maybe stuck in your mind sometimes. And that was me, like, oh, I can't do this and this and this because of my pain, or I can't, you know, I don't have the energy to do this and this and this, or I don't know if I should do this, or so I was kind of in an unclear space. And after that weekend, I took all the practices that I learned from Lama and I implemented them in my own business the next day, Monday. And I have used them every day since. So of course, after that first workshop, I was like, I'm in. When is the next training? And I took all the steps and certified in Qigong coaching, because I know that this is a modality that can help people change their life with few simple embodied steps. So yeah, so Sean, if you would mind, do the next slide. There you go. This is the resort we're gonna stay at, Tranquilidad Resort. And it is located on a peninsula, and it is nestled in between the Pacific coast of Costa Rica and the, you know, that's it. Sorry, I reread. That's where we're gonna be. And we are gonna be like literally walking distance to the beach. So imagine waking up every morning, listening to the waves, you know, before you even open your eyes, you can actually hear the waves crushing in, you know, on the beach. And, you know, you can feel the sun coming in through the windows. And that's just a magical place to be, if you ask me. Let's do the next slide, babe. So these are some pictures we have on the resort. There are a pool, there is a hot tub. We are literally on the beach. We can, you know, walk on the beach if that's something you enjoy. The rooms are suited for both. We can both handle private occupancy. If you are one of those people who think that I just want my own room, my private room, we have that available. Or if you are like, I'm willing to share with someone, we also have that available. There's also something magical about bringing your loved one. If you are in a partnership and you want to bring your partner, we have private rooms for you two with a shared bed. And then we also have dorm rooms. So if you are one of the people that go, I would like to explore this retreat for the most inexpensive way, then a dorm room is great for you, where you would sleep together 3 to 4 people. So the next slide.
I would just like to say that sharing this with a partner that's unbeatable. It's amazing, because you have a practice partner right there living with you. A lot of these principles that we will be showing you, that Lama will be walking us through, that we will coach you through, and we're here for support. These are all principles that are testable. So these are all things that you don't just take our word for it. We walk you through the process, and then you get to test it yourself. And having a practice partner when you go home from this, there's nothing like it. So highly encourage that. I recommend it highly. Inviting your loved one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some more pictures of the resort. I love that picture. I can't wait to swim in that pool. And it's very hot in Costa Rica this time of year. It's sunny, it's hot. It is. We'll do morning practices and have an afternoon break, so you can enjoy the sun at your own leisure, and then meet again in the evening. All right, next slide. There's a pool table, and I know Lama and Sean are very excited about this. And there might be I'm imagining some pool tournaments, you know, because that's usually what happens when we get together, Sean and Lama.
We have yet to see the condition of the pool table. I don't know, but we're gonna beat on that thing for sure.
Oh yeah. So a good evening with pool tournaments. The beach, Imagine living right on the beach for a whole week. I mean, that's incredible. Yeah,
These
next
aren't just
slide.
pictures we took from nowhere, by the way. These are actually pictures from the resort. So this is stuff that we found on their website. So this is local, nearby, right there on the beach.
Yeah,
More pictures of the
sunsets.
beach. The sunsets are gorgeous. You can't see that.
Yeah, next slide. Are you ready? Because I will be completely honest and say that these 5 days, 7 days, sorry, 5+2, they're for you who are, you know, you're ready for that greatness that you know is right inside of you. You know that it's there, you can feel it, you can taste it. You just don't quite have the clarity on how to reach it or what steps to take to really implement this greatness into your life. This is for you who you are willing to maybe be a little uncomfortable, because sometimes when we look at our depth and when we really figure out who we are as authentic beings in this life, it can be a little uncomfortable exploring all of that. But you're willing to do that work. And we will be here, the three of us, to hold you in that space of growth and to, you know, be your support system if you need it, both, during the retreat. And if you need any additional coaching after the retreat, we're also here for you. So this is a safe space, and you'll be with people who are, like-minded. They're willing to grow. These are people, we're talking people with growth mindset, you guys. There's no fixed mindset here. And then of course we're gonna have a lot of fun. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna run up and down that beach every morning. I hope someone is gonna join me. And yeah, pool tournaments and so on and so on. Let's do the next slide before I talk
catamaran tours. There's a lot of other activities that will be with this. So you're going to get workshops. You're going to get. Well, I might as well move on to the next page.
It's on the next slide. Yeah, let's. It's coming.
Oh, so, it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
let's talk about the people.
Yeah, the people that are here. Lama. Meet your coach is Lama. You know, you know Lama. You know, he is the founder of Academy of Fidel. He is one of the only 2 men in the world that I would trust with my life, because I know that if anything came after me, he would know exactly what to do for me to do. Lama is a man who's helped me through. I'm not going to just read the bio. You can read that. It's right on the screen. But I'm just going to say that Lama has helped me really look my deepest fears in the eye and accomplish more than I ever thought possible with my body, and get to a state of being energetically, but also my thought process that, you know, it's changed who I am. It's been this beautiful transformation, going from being a little bit in my fixed mindset and kind of actually a little bit of a judgmental person, you know, and a person who would consciously resist the flow. No, subconsciously probably, you know, but I would like always resist the flow. Where my teachings from Lama, you know, what I've learned from Lama is to really go with the flow, really go with what I resonate with. You know, I've gained tools on how do I know what I resonate with? You know, for example, the breath. Oh, so Lama, I cannot recommend Lama more. You know, I highly recommend him as your coach, as your support system, as your leader in this retreat. So, you know, he's going to be there for a full week. Let's see the next coach. This is Sean. Sean, he is the other of the 2 men that I will trust with my life. He is, Sean is so compassionate about the people he works with. I put the bio in there so you can read it, but what I want to say is, when he works with someone, he goes all in. He's there for you with the biggest heart, and he is never ever trying to tell you what to do. He's always guiding you to find the answer in you on what to do, what your next step is. You know, in this value process, we don't tell you, oh, you should think that fun is a top priority value because that's one of mine. No, we're not instructing you. Sean is never instructing you on what to do. He's helping you find your inner essence and live your authentic life, living in the flow. His company is called In Flow Guide for the same reason. And yeah, I might be biased because Sean is my love, but I've seen the work that he does with his clients. I've seen the transformation because he's worked with some of my close friends, and they are not the same people anymore. They're more heartfelt. They're more authentic. They're stronger people. They don't take things personally anymore. So yeah, that's Sean. Oh, you're muted, Sean.
All right, it's time for us to talk about you now. So this is my wife, and of course I'm extremely biased, but Circa is she's such a heartfelt and compassionate coach. You can really open up to her and trust her, and don't hold back, because she's all about self-expression. She's all about crushing insecurities because she's gone through the gauntlet. She's gone through everything, all the self-doubt. And she knows through those experiences that it's human nature. And she will help you get back to your most natural and authentic voice, because that's just what she does. She is super powerful. Not to mention, is she gorgeous? Is she an amazing singer? Yes, all those things. And she's just the most compassionate and amazing person I've ever met. And I'm really, really blessed to have her as a partner and to have her as a coach. She has coached me through some of the toughest times of my life, and I'm so lucky to have her by my side. So as you can see,
thank you, Sean.
Performer as well. Look at these pictures of her. Like,
okay, thank you so much.
She's a Bond girl, you know, like, anyway.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Next slide. What is included in this retreat? We're going to do daily empowerment trainings. It's going to be trainings every day. We're going to help you out every day, new tools every day. And we're going to do all these trainings together as a group, so that you can reflect and see, oh, this is what others do, or this is what he does, but that's not quite right for me, but oh, but she does something cool. Oh, well, maybe if I kind of mix the two, or what is, you know, you can kind of reflect on what other people do, but then find your own authentic truth in the group setting. We're also going to move every day. Like I said, we're going to embody every principle, every tool we learn is going to be embodied, because if you don't feel it in your body, it's really hard to implement this when you get home and in your daily life. So your body is the biggest master of your life. And we're going to do song circles. And I'm so excited about that, obviously, because I'm the vocal coach here. But what's really important in your voice is, you know, once you know who you are, is to really express that. How do you express who you are with your authentic sound? How does it feel when you say yes to something? Oh, that feels really powerful. How does it feel when you say, ow, if something hurts? You know, how does it feel if you say, no, I don't want that? You know, it's okay to express your authentic voice. And that's what we're going to explore in the song circles. We're going to do adventures on the water. You know, we're right on the beach. There are all kinds of possibilities, but we're definitely going to do a catamaran tour with snorkeling and food and like a whole half day of just being on the water with the little fishies. And I'm scared to death of water, so I will let you guys snorkel. I'll be on the boat. If you need me, I'll be staying on the boat. But that's a part of, you know, being in the flow, living in the flow of life. It is, you know, daring to be in the water and like in the flow of the water, right? So I might get in there anyway. We have our private chefs cooking for us, and these guys, Sean and I have enjoyed their meals before, and they're absolutely magical. And these meals are organic. They're most of the produce they use, they grow themselves. You know, they live in Costa Rica. You will love these beautiful ladies. You know,
they live on a farm where they grow their own food, and they will treat us to some homegrown food, of course, and then there'll be stuff that they've buy locally, but everything is very fresh. I've been to Costa Rica a few times. The fruit is unbelievable. The mangoes, just to name some of the delicious, nourishing food, because when you are on the path, you get hungry, right? And you will be nourished with some of the most amazing food and the most amazing company. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay, next slide. Oh, wait, sorry. Transportation to and from the airport is, of course, included. I'm just going to run through this. But the magical thing is we're 3 people and we only have 10 spots available. Maybe we can squeeze in 12, but you know, so it's about being fast on these tickets, because we want to make this as personal to you as possible. And we are offering private coaching sessions throughout this whole week to help you, to really help you grow as much as possible this whole week. There's also going to be bodywork sessions available with Nancy Williams. She's the most fabulous, you know, body worker. You will absolutely love her. So yeah, all of this is included and much more, you know. Your authentic self on the other side is the biggest one. So connect with your path of empowerment and take the steps. Are you ready to take the steps? Because we actually have today only, you know, if you sitting there and you're going, I'm ready. Let's do this. Like I need to find my greatness. I need to be on the path of empowerment. I need to feel the flow. I need to live. Can you go back one? I need to live on purpose and not just live randomly and subconsciously anymore. I wanna have purpose in life. I wanna find my purpose. Today for you, we have exceptional savings that is only today. So if you feel like, yes, I'm ready to sign up for this retreat, today you can save a whole lot of money. So it's because we want to honor you guys that has been in the 5-day challenge, and also the rest of you for showing up today. So let's see the prices. Yes. So regular price for this retreat, if you come as a single person, is $4,197. But for you today, we give you this price of $3,297. So you save $900. $900 you save today. That's almost $1,000. I mean, that's a lot of money. And you get the whole week, you know, food is included, you know, a bed to sleep in, a magical beach resort. So for $3,297, you get all of that. That's it. And if you are a couple who would like to share this journey together, there's a little bit of a good price for you guys, because we want to, of course, invite couples to do this together. And you normally would actually have to pay $6,597, but today the price is only, you know, $4,797. You save almost $2,000 if you sign up today. And if you are okay with sharing a room with someone else, even if it's someone you don't know, normally that would cost $3,597, but today it's only $2,697. So again, $900 in savings. And then we have the dorm rooms. That's for you guys who are willing to blend in and just meet new people and sleep in like with 3 to 4 guests. Of course, you get your own beds. And the normal price for that would be $29.97, but today it's only $26.97. So you save $600. So this retreat is gonna be deep work, and what you've seen in the 5-day challenge, what you've seen today, is literally just the tippity tip of the iceberg. Because when you have 7 days, you're immersed in this environment. You're taking yourself out of your, you know, where you normally live, and you're going to this resort, and you're being present with 3 coaches ready to hold you every day. So it's a 24/7 healing process you're gonna, you know, go through. Yeah. So let's see the next slide. Oh, see you in Costa Rica. So if you're ready to, sign up today for this retreat, go for it. If you're not quite there yet, Lana, what can they do instead?
Well, first of all, I want to say that there was a great introduction to our retreat. Thank you so much, Sirka. And this is a beautiful place in paradise, as name implies. In case you are not ready to invest in your personal development as much, or there is some other reason perhaps that keeps you from traveling or you would not be able to go somewhere for whatever reason in April, we actually have a virtual retreat coming up. It's right around the corner, literally. Next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have a virtual retreat where you'll be able to experience some of the practices that we'll be doing in our retreat in Costa Rica at the privacy of your own home. You don't have to travel anywhere, and you may be able to benefit not from one-on-one, but at least from a group encounter and also get some community support. That's something that is going to not replace a live event in Costa Rica, but at least it will give you a second best option. And it's a lot less investment for you, because normally we would charge $97, less than $100. And just for the participants in this weekend webinar, we actually slashed that price in half, or even more than half. It's $47 to register for the virtual retreat that we'll have next Saturday and Sunday. And I'm going to give you a link right here in the chat where you'll be able to register yourself and enjoy the retreat virtually next weekend. It's going to be both Saturday and Sunday, a few hours on Saturday, a few hours on Sunday. There's going to be an opportunity to do some embodiment practices, even though it's not a full-fledged embodiment like we will be doing in Costa Rica, but it's definitely the second best option. And also, it's going to give you an opportunity to dive deeper into the teachings that I'll be sharing, as well as Sean and Circa will be sharing as well. So all of these are going to be fantastic events next weekend and also in April. If you want to, you can attend both. As a matter of fact, whatever you pay for the virtual retreat will be deducted from your tuition for the retreat in Costa Rica if you choose to go to Costa Rica with us after you attend the virtual retreat. So there is nothing to lose for you. You can literally attend this virtual retreat for free because it will be comped. Now, one of the things that I also want to bring up to you is that we will be there walking you through all these steps, not just in a group format setting. We'll also have breakout rooms. So you will actually experience a fair amount of hand holding if you need it. If you don't need hand holding, don't worry about it. You can rely on yourself. That's an empowered way to be. But if you need some additional help, assistance, we will be able to provide that. And that's something that we normally don't do in our virtual retreats. It's going to be the first retreat like that that we offer. So you are going to be delighted and empowered by attending this retreat next weekend. And all I need to do is to find the link to it. So, Sean, would you share with us a bit more about what this particular event is going to do for people attending it?
Of course, yeah. So just think about essentially what you could accomplish with this rock solid confidence. And how would it feel to never have to make compromises because your body isn't up for the task? So again, this is going to be embodiment exercises. What if you could take advantage of your entire skill set because you feel much more free in your body? You don't develop burnout. Well, I know personally that once I was able to, once again, really get solid on my values, feel much more clear about my direction, every step that I take has gotten much more confident. I feel much more clear, and I'm able to take even more action towards my dreams. I don't feel like everything is a struggle. And I know people have been struggling about the direction. I know people have been struggling. I mean, I'm a coach. I work with people who often have this. And for me, it's a joy to be able to walk through this process because I know it's been so transformational for me. And I can't wait to help others transform and to let this unfold before their eyes. So it's going to be unbelievably beneficial for those of you who are ready to really take that that next step, towards your own empowerment.
Beautiful. Well, I just shared the link in our chat room. So feel free to click that link. It's called the Path of Empowerment Virtual Retreat. It's going to give you some more information about it. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to actually share the link of our live retreat in Costa Rica. Now, Sean, who is the live retreat in Costa Rica for? Who are the people who would be able to benefit the most from it?
Those who are feeling tense, stressed, insecure, and those who are have been impacted, by the uncertainty of the pandemic. I would say anybody that's really ready to get back on their feet, because you've been kind of knocked down, and especially stagnation in the body. When we develop stagnation in the body, it manifests itself subconsciously, and then we feel like we can't do anything about it, essentially because that's why they call them feelings. They're stuck in our bodies, right? And when we identify with that so much, this stagnation, how are we supposed to move through things? How are we supposed to actually show up in life, quite physically, show up and move through these challenges? This is a perfect opportunity to do that. I know that had I not been primed for all of this, I wouldn't have been able to actually, make do throughout this whole pandemic and throughout the last 2 years. So we know that people are stagnant. We know that people are really struggling right now. And this is your time. This is your time to really step into your power and to take what's yours in this life. Really go after what you want and show yourself, show your skills, and get out there and get what you want and what you need.
Well, I would also say it's probably fair to mention that some of us have spent some time kind of feeling like we are on the verge of greatness, but we are not experiencing greatness for some reason. What is going on? Why do we not experience greatness? Well, there must be some reasons. It may be some internal sabotage. It may be some procrastination or some perfectionism or some other reasons. Often it's a misalignment of the values or a lack of clarity. And also sometimes there is just lack of confidence. All of these are issues that will be addressed directly, one by one, in our retreats, because we want you to experience greatness. We don't want you to be stuck on the verge of it or be on the plateau for a long time without further growth. You deserve a life that you really dream of. We are here to support you manifesting it. So I just put the links to both a live retreat and a virtual retreat in our chat. And so please feel free to check them out. If you don't see them, give them a shot again and check them out. Check out the chat room. Circa, do you see those links from your side?
I do, right there.
Monica, you mentioned to me in private direct message that you didn't see the links. Do you see them now?
Yep, they're up there now. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right.
Well, and Monica, can I just ask while you're unmuted here, like any comments that you would like to share with us from your 5-day challenge and this work you've been like there every day, and we've been all like, woo, Monica's here again. So can you please share a little bit about your journey in the past week?
Yes, I think the main thing that I really appreciate is the simplicity of the steps, and also the connecting with the nervous system with using the yawning meditation. That's a really precious gem, so it's something that doesn't take a lot of time, but it really connects you, and I just love it. I thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Monica. Speaking of Lama, I believe we do have a prize. We have to.
Yes.
Yes, a prize for Monica. Yes.
For the 5th day of our challenge, Monica actually won another prize. So Monica, you were on fire, and I'm really happy to offer you a complimentary session with yours truly. I am going to be happy to work with you one-on-one for a whole hour, answering any questions, and also asking you some questions that will help you clarify your vision, your path that you would need to take to manifest it, and any other issues that you may come up with. Feel free to bring them along with you to the session, and we will resolve everything we can. And everything.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. So just for you, I will send you a private message in just a moment that will take you to, I will give a link to my online booking calendar where you can actually book this session.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So
I think we covered a lot of ground today.
can I just ask, is there's any questions about the retreats, any questions about anything that you heard just regarding this amazing empowerment in paradise coming up? It might be good to address that while we're here.
Yes, if you have any questions, this is a good time to ask, and we can cover any of those questions that you have.
Yeah.
Or if anybody has any comments on how things went during their 5-day challenge, we'd love to hear from you. The stage is yours.
Absolutely. And I also see that one of my apprentices from Denmark, another Danish apprentice of mine, is here, Ain. And if you feel like unmuting yourself,
Danish invasion.
camera on, feel free to do that if you are in a good place for that. I would love to see you and hear what you have to say.
Hi.
Hey.
I think this sounds really interesting, and now I was not there from the start, but I have been working actually for this pie chart or wheel of life, and I think it's a fantastic practice. Now I looked into it for the second time, and it really made something much more clear. So this is, I think it's fantastic.
Marvelous. Well, I'm delighted to see you here today. And of course, I look forward to seeing more of you in Costa Rica. I think this is going to be an amazing adventure, and we are going to have some serious fun.
Yes, I really look forward to it. Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you for chiming in today. If anyone has any questions, now would be the time to ask questions. If you have any comments or requests, now would be the time to post them as well. Before we wrap up, we're going to wrap up in just a moment. Sean, feel free to stop sharing, and we are going to bow out. So just want
remember the prices that you get today only. The savings that we presented is today only. So before midnight, if you're ready to sign up, do you have either, if you have more questions, go into the 5-day challenge and find us on Facebook or email. Yeah, so I would make a move today for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and if you have any challenges with registration, if something is not working technology-wise, feel free to email me. You receive my emails on a regular basis, so that's why you're here. You know how to contact me. Please don't hesitate to do that. I will be happy to help you with that. And I want to thank you for being here today and for taking this journey with us even further. And see you soon.
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care.